The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host who loves to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So we had a little bit of a pullback today, but not unexpected. This is Thursday. If you've got a Wednesday that's kind of an up day right before expiration, then Thursday's normally a little bit of a pullback, and then you push back higher. 80% of the time, the S&P cash will close at 3380 or above from the Wednesday numbers a week ago. So you got a pretty good idea that we're kind of probably go a little higher. There's probably somewhat of a brick wall around 3,400. I'll look at the options and see if that changed today. See a lot of stocks where people just keep piling on short every day and nothing's really happening. I actually bought, I think I paid 9 cents or something for some options for tomorrow on expiration. On one of those stocks. We'll see how it goes. I'll lose a little. I'll lose 10 cents or make $1. So we'll see how that works out tomorrow. Got some questions. We'll try to get to those early in the show. You, of course, can always call me at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. Of course, you can always put a message in the den. And we'll just go through what we have. We're off 18, 19 points, but we were off another 15 points lower than that earlier on the S&P cash. Down 164 on the Dow. NASDAQ up, down 88 points. Russell seems to be around flat. Crude's having a little bit of bounce. We're up 47 cents. And, of course, very interesting action in gold and crude with the dollar that just continues to march on up to that 100 level on the U.S. index futures. That's the March 20th futures on the dollar. But up 16 and a half cents today, 99.7630. A lot of people didn't think there was any way that they could break 98. That was kind of the top end. Since then, I think we have a lot of people on the wrong side. You can make a fairly decent case, I think, that people continue to try to take money out of the Orient, East Asia, and move it to the United States because it looks like at least the worst of the coronavirus certainly is continuing to stay over there. Not much in the way of movement over here, but a lot of nervousness on all of it. We're just about to that point, maybe another week or two before the temperatures start to warm, and we might have a down, or typically during flu seasons and other viruses, this is about where it starts to break in the year. So we'll keep an eye on that stuff. What else did we have? Had some interesting earnings. We'll go through those stocks today, but kind of a quiet day in that this is the pattern for expiration. Wednesday's up, Thursday's down, Friday's back up, and generally above that close 80% of the time. So we've got about 14 points that's baked in. Above that, it'd be about 34 points. Above is probably some very stiff resistance at 3,400. So expiration above 3,380 and probably below 3,400 or right at it. So we'll see how that does tomorrow. I can't imagine that there's going to be a lot of news that really truly matters by tomorrow, but I think a lot of the action we're seeing today was and is part of the expiration movement. I think a lot of people are pointing a lot of fingers. I think it's just the option market makers had to get a lot done today. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just gap up in the morning, and that's kind of it for the rest of the day. Maybe narrow ones. If we're going to move, I think it will be next week. Of course, Monday and Tuesday are options rollover, so we have a little heightened volatility, although the markets tend to kind of close by the end of the day. Not that much changed. Wednesday really gets us out of the options expiration cycle, and generally the market starts moving to where it is going to have at least some level of trend. What do you see as the ping on the SPY? I don't know what the ping means. SPY option. What do you see the ping? Yeah, maybe he'll answer that. Anyway, we're off 17 points, and we got a couple minutes to go. Let's do where do they want to close? It's not like that this month. A lot of times there's a point where everything looks good. There's just a hockey stick at 3,400, suggesting that's where very stiff resistance is. And generally, it's like a magnet. You kind of get magnetized up there, but it's not so much a point this month. It is more of an indication that would be the top at around 3,400. So my guess is they'll try to push that the market there, maybe even before the end of the day. It's hard to tell, but certainly they're trying to get a lot done today, and then they'll look at what's going on tomorrow. But we've got fairly decent volume, and that generally means that they're getting expiration taken care of today and not tomorrow. So, like I said, I'm figuring that somewhere between 3,380, 3,400 is where we're going to expire. And we'll probably know a lot more of that when I look at the numbers tonight. But it's somewhere in there. 20 points on a Friday, not a big deal. But yeah, higher. And I'm not exactly sure why, other than the fact that everybody is rather bullish, exuberantly bullish. But we'll talk about that. Good. Okay. Do we have enough time? We could.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1792, George Washington signs legislation renewing the United States Post Office as a cabinet department led by the Postmaster General, guaranteeing inexpensive delivery of all newspapers, stipulating the right to privacy, and granting Congress the ability to expand postal service to new areas of the nation. And, of course, this was really pushed mostly by the newspaper publishers, who said that they couldn't get information out politically. And if we couldn't get that information out politically, then people probably wouldn't make good decisions. Of course, backing this also was the same guy that tied a key to the string of a kite. Benjamin Franklin, very smart dude, thought that this would be a good idea and pushed it through. On this day in 1792, Columbus didn't do anything. We'll be back.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we're back. Not much happening. Like I said, we're probably going to meander around here for a while. We'll see what happens the last 30 minutes of the day, but just looking for kind of a quiet, slightly up, maybe all the way up to 3,400 on the S&P cash for tomorrow. Maybe we'll get better numbers today with all the action we had in here, and they used it to get everything done. But that's it. Anyway. Post office, we already took care of that. Time to get into some earnings. We got earnings, lots of earnings, all kinds of earnings. Anyway, stocks with news and earnings. I've got a list here. We'll go through them as fast as we can. Gapping down, which is very interesting, is Aaron's rents. Of course, when things get very tight, this subprime lender tends to do very well. Gapping down is a suggestion that the weakest in the people in the economy are not having the kind of problems that most people would think. It may just be that televisions you can buy for $100 now, no one even thinks to try to get those out. They still try to rent a lot of other things like washers and dryers and stuff, a lot more expensive. Alamos Gold up with a little bit of volume, and of course gold having a kind of a nice 3 or 4 days. AKS, which is AK Steel, I wouldn't call it anything definitive, just hanging out. Alabar, this is the company I cannot pronounce. Looks like things are actually getting going on this company. They've been doing well for a while. Off the October 31st low at just under $60 to $99.40 today in the spike. Maybe that's telling you that there is something to be had with EVs out there. BRC, which is Brady Common Stock. This is backfilling its gap from the 6th of September. Well, you have 700,000 shares up, just 225 today so far. What do these guys do? I kind of vaguely remember, but it's always good to check. A lot of stocks in the market. Identification solutions, workplace safety products to identify and protect premises, products, and the people. So badges and key cards, apparently. Kind of interesting back there on support, about $49. Car, Avis Budget Group. When used cars become more valuable, these companies tend to do well. We've seen the big automakers of Detroit have kind of weak sales as the cars get more and more expensive. And, of course, nothing better than to see the big car lots like AutoNation seeing big profits, but not profits on new cars. It's those profits on used cars that are doing well for them. Nice pop out there. GEN, Compugen, just a little bit higher out here today. Nothing to write home about. Copart, gap down and significant volume. Got to underneath the last real high, which is that November 21st, 92.41 high. Certainly looks like it's probably going to work its way back into this gap that goes into about 86. But a big disappointment for Copart. CTL, which is CenturyLink, down just a little bit, nothing to write home about. DNR, which is Denbury Resources, just sideways. One of the big winter chicken dinners goes to Domino's Pizza. Apparently everybody was watching the big game and hogging down a Domino's death disc, is what I call them. But certainly everything you were looking for. Lots of volume, big gap higher. I'd like it to come back and fill that gap if I was going to get involved with it now. Another big winter chicken dinner is E-Trade, 57.30. There's some buyout involved in that. Expeditors of Washington, D.C., they be expediting stuff back to its gap down of the 17th of January. No juice on that one to really speak above. 5.9, which is FIVN, down. These retailers, man, even when they're doing good, it seems bad. Hormel and their spam, wonderful spam, down on some decent volume, but not massive. Certainly looks like it's already back into this big day up from the 26th of November that had 10.2 million shares. You're down on 3.15. Guess no one's going to give up on spam. But, that $44 area looks like where support would be. IMAX, which, of course, is always problematic because they've got a bunch of theaters in China and they're all closed. Things are not going to get any better. It may take a long time for this company to turn itself back around, but a couple of companies like Starbucks, IMAX really hurting from China's virus issues. Kirkland Gold, gap down back to the support level from, what is this, to June 3rd of 2019. That gapped up that day on 3.6 million shares. You're already down with 4 million shares. Don't know why that one is so special. Somebody's been to a spam cook-off. Lowe's, not much going on there. MPC, which is Marathon Petroleum, a little bit of a gap up here. You could look at that as a continuation pattern. Certainly, you don't go far, about 61.50, before you start running into resistance, though, above that. Morgan Stanley, gap down with some decent juice today. Could you call that a tombstone doji? A dragonfly? Yeah, a lot of things. Looks like it's coming back to 51.89, which is the January 31st high, or low, excuse me. Nordson's, opening lower, back to the gap. Don't have a lot of that. Newmont Mining and Drilling, one of the winners out here. Nice move higher from about 46.30 to 48.99 for the high today. So the dog of the gold market back up. Realty income, Mr. O, went above the previous high at 81.44. That high had 3 million shares. You got about 2 million shares so far. It did not hold that high. PXD, Pioneer Natural Resources, nice little gap higher. I'm going to say okay volume, but you're back into resistance already. SBLK, which is Star Bulk Carriers, kind of a big spinning top for its candle today. SEDG, Solar Edge, we talked about these companies yesterday. Another nice gap higher today, and it's holding that high.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Six Flags down, and not exactly sure why. You've got, though, a three-gap play to the downside. So I would watch this closely for the signs of maybe some big turnaround. Again, probably anything where a lot of crowds go, probably going to be weak for a while. But, you're coming into summertime and Six Flags over everything, depending on where you learn. Probably not a bad summer coming up, but everybody's going to have to kind of forget a lot of this. But you got three gaps, and the way, if you really want to look at one for a three-gap play, this is what you're looking for. You got a good gap down with some juice. You get another gap down, big gap down, you get a lot of juice. You get even maybe the same size one, yet another one down, and then generally that's it. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have to consolidate a little bit out, but generally, if you get that out, the prognosis would be for this to go back and fill up to $50. So maybe things get worse. I haven't looked at why this thing gapped down as badly as it did on earnings. But keep an eye on this one, because that is a fairly good move from about $30 to $50. Generally, these do well when the price of gas goes higher, because people tend to have their vacations closer. But I think a lot of people that may avoid going for vacation now on the cruise ships and stuff, when summer turns around and the virus is in the rearview mirror, this may be a very interesting stock to keep an eye on. SNBR, which is a Sleep Number, of course, it's the IPO that hasn't been out there for that long. Nice pop, but again, being very much supported by that. And of course, they had to push this out with half the shares that they wanted. So eventually, they're going to want to get that cash back. So that may be one of these ones that goes to the moon and then straight back down once they start distributing a lot of the stock that they weren't able to. Synopsys, SNPS, down on fairly strong volume, back to the gap of the 4th of February. Again, one of these I'm going to have to dig back in. Doesn't look good, though. Not really ignoring this. Breaking the trend line up, which suggests this could go back and retest the 130.72 low from December 11th. So not that far around. Stamps.com, we were talking about this yesterday. It was hard for me to understand what would change in this company, but apparently they did make a deal with the U.S. Postal Center, and which we talked about today in 1792, and it's come back and filled the gap about halfway. Very tough to figure out. Let's go a little farther back here. What else might be going on here? But he filled half the gap, and that means that there's going to be a lot of people that are just glad to get whatever cash they had back after this thing blew apart on 13.7 million shares, up on just under 6 right now. But, it had a pattern, came back. Unless you had the inside information, it would have been tough to say, hey, I'm going to hold this through earnings. Although I had a dream about it last night. SUI. Question in the DEM. What about F long? Ford. He had more volume. So he broke out $8. The only way I'd probably be long this thing is if we retested $6.83, which is that December 26th low of 2018. Kind of looks like it's working back that way. For all I know, some of these companies have a lot of parts built in China. They could end up with having a issue with parts flow too. So I'm not exactly sure how many of those parts go through the supply line for Ford or General Motors. I think Ford has a bigger presence than General Motors over in China, but hard to tell exactly what's going on there. But I wouldn't buy it until it retests the low. Wix, the big website, we can call it a manufacturer, website portal to make websites with a lot of canned website-looking stuff. Did retest its previous high. It did so on much lighter volume last night. The August 1st high of 2019, 155.77 with 1.7 million shares. Got into it with 1.2 million shares. last night, and then the big disappointment today. You've got pretty significant support at about 135. But again, another one you're going to have to dig into to find out just how bad that news really was, if it had a lot more to do with maybe the mood of the markets. Williams Company up a little bit, WMB, XEC, a little pop. This is Simera X Energy. You've had some decent volume. See if there's anything else out there. You really never tested the $37.03 low from August 27th of 2019. You were only $2 away from it. Energy was a little bit more down. I still think this could probably come back and test that 37.03, even though it had a decent bounce today. It may take a little longer for this to consolidate out. Another big winner of the day is Zillow Group. And, of course, they've gotten into the real estate flipping business, as John from Philadelphia said this morning. The problem is with these big companies is, what do you do when the market turns against you? The way that this went up is the way it will go down as soon as the tide turns in the real estate market. So if we really start seeing some big changes, just remember, in the real estate market, just remember the way that this went up, it will go down probably even a lot harder if we do get a change in real estate. There is none now. Just saying, if there is, that would be something you wanted to look at. Okay, what else? Oh, I got a question. Why do these go down harder? Because real estate is one of the most illiquid markets that there is. It's like the bond market. When everybody's buying, everything's fine. When everybody's selling, there are no buyers. Same way with the real estate. Everybody buys. And then it crests, and then there's no buyers. And generally that's because loans and everything else, or the economy, no one wants to make a loan when the market's headed south, which is exactly where they should be loaning money. When there's blood in the streets, they should be loaning money, but they're bankers. They were too stupid to loan money at the top, and they're not smart enough to buy and loan the money out at the lows. But what can you say? We got a little more of a segment here. Yeah, we got another one. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the tax opportunity zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year, or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year, or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. Okay. Yeah, people. Oh, we still got, we talked about Zillow. Again, lots of volume, big pop here. But man, there's nothing worse than a big company that has a lot of real estate. And of course, the market turns against them. I can understand why this company did it. And of course, a couple of years ago, they were being fried because they talked about getting into this part of the business. Of course, now it's turning some profits, and everybody will forget the reason why they're turning profits, which is they have an enormous amount of risk on. And of course, that works on the way up, but doubly on the way down when it comes to real estate. Okay, let's take a look at the big guys and see if anything else is going on. Had the dip in Microsoft today. Like I said, it's you get into options expiration. If Wednesday's up and you're kind of up at that, normally Thursday's a little bit of a pullback. Then Friday you go back up at least to the high of the Wednesday before about 80% of the time. So that takes you to 3380, maybe 3400 tomorrow. You're still on the kind of on the cusp of some highs here in Microsoft, but I don't see a lot of people running for the exit quite yet. Amazon, question is whether or not you can get anybody to give up here either, and the answer so far today is no. You're basically in this still sideways trading range that started back on the 11th. And not much in the way of volume. So you could look at this at some distribution. But again, if this is going to probably pull back to 1950, which would be the logical level, probably is not going to happen till next week at earliest. At least my belief is that way. In FLX, it's come back to this huge gap down that goes back to, July 17th of 2018. Came down to 58 million shares. Volume has just been weak in Netflix pushing this. Far too many people in this sector, as far as I can tell, but you're only up a little less than 5 million shares into the gap yesterday. Just 3.3 million so far today. Day before, he had about 5.2 million shares. So certainly the big push is kind of wearing out on that. Dave Z lost over 100 million? Huh? I don't understand that. Okay. I take it that what we're talking about is Zillow Group. So that is same chart, same company. Okay. Yeah, 100 million here, 100 million there. Soon you're talking real money. Okay. Well, it's up. Okay. Oh, anyway, we were looking at other big players out here. AAPL, as we go into that. And this thing's just been kind of looking around since they came out with the big information and it popped down. It's come back, but of course, Apple has all the money in the world to buy its shares ad nauseum. Still have $280 billion in cash. Don't see much changing in that real soon. See anything else? So take a quick look at the SMHs. SMH. Okay. Semiconductors. Yeah, get a little push down today, but it's kind of back. I would imagine if I look at the options, spend some time on it, my guess is that it probably is pegging to 150 or 152.50 for options tomorrow. We'll see. But I can't imagine a lot happening tomorrow in options, in the SMHs. Got a question to look at the IBB, which we will. Just hanging out at the highs. Again, you're just going sideways. No real breakout now. Again, probably looking into mid next week before these things resolve themselves one way or the other. But Wednesday would be a good guess, in my opinion, to go back and look at it. What else do we want to look at? I got some emails here. Okay. What is that? AZO, AutoZone, right? Okay, we talked about this one with those auto parts manufacturers looking fairly good. I mean, you had the first low at 434,000 shares on August 13th, came into it with 220,000 shares on October 3rd, came back into it with 280,000 shares again on February 4th. You got a little bit of an uptrend line all the way through here. Ideally, you would love for this thing to test about 1050 on light volume. But I have to say that, well, auto parts companies may have the same problem. I know a lot of those parts are made in China these days. So if they have problems with deliveries, maybe they'll be weak too. But what you want is some, 200,000 share a day on that uptrend line, which should probably take you to what? I'm going to say 1,050. If you get that line done, if you had a lot of consolidation here going back to mid-2016, July 16th, and that high. But it's hard for me to see. Amazon, of course, was going to get into this business and really kind of messed up the charts for a while. I don't see much happening now. Okay, what else? We want to look at some other stuff. Okay. Well, let's do this. Get some more leads here on stuff that I wanted to look at. See if there's anything. CRR, Carbo Ceramics. Man, is this thing just barely in business? Yeah, I can't imagine that this is not going out of business. We'll probably hear about it soon. No, I wouldn't be interested in buying it. CSX, testing the previous high. That's 8.2 million shares back on May 3rd. We're into that with 2.74 million shares now. That would be interesting. Diplomat Pharmacy. Yeah, that's another one that's blowing up. DPW. Nothing in that one either. We already did pizza. We'll find some here during the break. A few more to look at. There we go. We'll look at the GDX when we come back. That is just above that August 7th high.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And after the bell tonight, we've got DMC Global, which is symbol is boom. It looks like it's a fairly decent sport, but no sign this thing's going higher. BYD, which is Boyd Gaming. Of course, they make, I think they make slot machines stuff for Las Vegas and other gambling meccas. But it's just a little bit over that February 22nd high. Had a lot of volume. Don't have much now. That's interesting. COG, which is Cabot Oil and Gas, just back up to the resistance level where this thing fell apart on heavy volume. DBX, which is Dropbox. I don't see anything changing in this company. Maybe they'll eventually get bought out by somebody, but I don't know if there's any premium involved in it. EHTH, which is eHealth. It's got a little breakout here going into earnings on this pop-up on the 24th of January, had 4.8 million shares. And you had about 800,000 yesterday, so light volume. Fitbit actually ran a lot of shorts, had a gap. It's kind of come back down there and consolidated nicely. Again, I don't see a lot changing in this company. If a lot of people short it, maybe you can get a squeeze out of it. FND, which is Floor Decor Holdings, also out after the bell. 2 million shares on September 25th at $53. You got 54.64 today on let's call it 1.2 million shares so far. First Solar, of course, all these solar companies on the AC/DC side that we covered yesterday doing fairly well. This came off $49. It's $59, but not a lot of juice. That's it. Texas Roadhouse, Z-Scaler, and OLED after the bell tonight, too. We'll cover those tomorrow. When we return, as always, same bat channel, same bat time. Sell when you can, not when you have to.